So that's it for planning, which is by far the biggest of them all as far as the process groups are concerned. If you count the number of processes, we've got 24 of them, 24 processes in planning. That is quite a lot compared to the 2 in initiating. Now, taking a look at the next process group, this will go very quickly because we only have 8 processes here. The first one is direct and manage project work. Now look, it's an integration, which means it's integrating what falls underneath it. And what falls underneath it actually starts from quality management. We have perform quality assurance, and quality assurance is about checking how work is being carried out. Not checking the final deliverable, but checking how the work is proceeding, how it is being executed, making sure that it's being done the right way. We call that perform quality assurance. Lots of similar terms here, we have to get them straight. So perform quality assurance deals with process, checking the process. That is very important to remember. Hold on to that thought because you're going to need it to distinguish between quality assurance and quality control. Moving down here into the human resource management area, we have 3 processes. We have acquire project team, we have develop project team, and we have manage project team. Remember, I talked about these. So acquire project team is about acquiring the team, develop project team is about acquiring the project team, develop project team is about developing the project team, and manage project team is about managing the project team. All of these 3 are in executing. Acquire project team, develop project team, manage project team. Let's move down into communications. In communications, we have manage communications. I talked about this. This is where you distribute information. This is where meetings are held. This is where you ensure that the stakeholders get the communication they need. Next one down here in procurement, we call that conduct procurements. Conduct procurements is where you select your sellers. You select the vendor who will deliver that product, service, or result to you. We call it conduct procurements. And the major goal of conducting procurements is to come out with agreements, be they contracts, whatever we want to call them. There has to be some agreement, and the final deal is sealed in conduct procurements. Moving over to the last knowledge area here, we have manage stakeholder engagement. And manage stakeholder engagement is all about managing your stakeholders' engagement on the project to make sure that the stakeholder is fully engaged as you need them to be. Let's move on to our next process group, the monitoring and controlling process group. Again, this will be rather quick because in monitoring and controlling, we don't have that many processes either. So remember, we have 2 in initiating, 24 in planning, 8 in executing, and we are going to see 11 in monitoring and controlling. And when you add these up, when you add them up, you've got 2 plus 24, 26, 34, 45. So it means that once we get done with monitoring and controlling, we only have 2 left in closing. So in monitoring and controlling, we have 2 processes within integration management, very important. The first is called a monitor and control project work, which speaks for itself. You're monitoring and controlling the work of the project as a whole, but you're aggregating the different outputs that you're going to get from all of the other processes. Remember, this is integration. Any of these things in integration deals with the coordination of all of the different processes that fall in the same groups as these integrative processes. Still in monitoring and controlling within integration, we have another one which is called perform integrated change control. And this has to do with ensuring that any changes are approved, making sure that any changes which are identified by the project manager or the project team or someone else, or any changes that are requested, go through the right channels and are either approved or rejected. We call that Perform Integrated Change Control. Moving down to scope area, we have two processes here. Validate scope. Validate scope has to do with the customer's formal acceptance of a deliverable or sub-deliverable. And we have control scope. Control scope deals with preventing any extras being added and making sure that if any changes need to occur in the scope, then they go through the Perform Integrated Change Control process. Next, we have in time management, control schedule, which is very easy to understand. Control schedule is controlling the schedule, making sure that things are being done at the right time. And if things are not being done when they should be done, the project manager needs to take action and influence that. Next, we have in cost management, control cost. And control cost involves making sure that the budget is being spent as planned. Next, we have under quality management, we have control quality. And control quality is different from perform quality assurance. Perform quality assurance is different from control quality in that perform quality assurance deals with the process. Control quality deals with the product. Control quality is all about ensuring that quality is inherent in the final deliverable, making sure that the final deliverable conforms to those quality standards. It's all about checking the product. Perform quality assurance, checking the process. Control quality, checking the product. Very important. Human resource management, we have a blank there. Going to project communications management, we have control communications. And this deals with making any necessary changes to how communications is being carried out, making sure that any changes to communication are funneled through the right process, and being agile to ensure that the customer is getting what they want when they want it, and if things aren't according to what the customer wants, then changes need to be made. We call that control communications. So changes to communications as needed. Control risks, I'll refer to that as CR, is all about controlling risks on the project, making sure that those plans that were put in place for certain risks are being carried out. Going over to procurement management, we have control procurements. Control procurements, it's all about making sure that procurements on the project are being controlled, making sure that vendors are delivering when they said they would deliver, how they said they would deliver. If there are any quality assurance activities that need to be carried out, we ensure that those quality assurance activities are being carried out. If there are any audits that need to be carried out, it's in control procurement that we ensure that these things are being done. Going to our final knowledge area down here, we have control stakeholder engagement. Control stakeholder engagement is all about making sure your stakeholders are engaged, and if not, then you need to take action to get them re-engaged. We call that control stakeholder engagement.